Dream of the Red Chamber, Chapter 21.
Yeah, and we're not looking at the big picture stuff, the politics or the family's decline.
No, not at all. We are zooming way, way in. We're looking at Chapter 21 and really just a single highly charged morning routine.
That's right. The source material gives this incredibly vivid, almost moment-by-moment snapshot. It's focused entirely on the emotional world of Jia Baiyu.
And we see him with everyone who matters to him in that moment. Lin Daiyu, she's Xiangyun, his powerful maid Jiren, and the very observant relative Su Biaochai.
And the stakes here aren't about money or power in the usual sense. They're all about relationships.
Exactly. It's love, it's jealousy, it's these subtle power dynamics. I mean, we're talking about a lost pearl, a forgotten habit.
It's a single conversation.
Yeah, right. How all that reveals these profound character clashes and even deep philosophical ideas, all before lunch. It's a masterclass in domestic microdrama.
Okay, so let's set the scene.
Yeah, let's dive in.
We really have to start with the intimacy that's established the night before, because that just spills right over into the morning.
Okay.
The source describes this moment where Xiangyun runs away, and she's worried Daiyu is going to chase her, and Baiyu literally, physically blocks the door. He's begging Daiyu to spare her.
So even though they're rivals in some ways, they're also cousins. There's this complicated closeness.
Exactly. And Xiangyun actually ends up sleeping in Daiyu's room.
So Baiyu is clearly restless. He's up at the crack of dawn, and he makes a beeline straight for Daiyu's room, even though his maid Jianna had been calling for him.
He just ignores her.
Yeah.
And he finds his two cousins still asleep. And what's amazing is how the source immediately gives us this physical contrast between them.
Oh, this part is brilliant.
It's just perfect characterization through description. So you have Lin Daiyu, who is the picture of contained, peaceful rest. The text says she is tightly wrapped in her quilt, very composed.
And then there's Xiangyun,
who is the complete opposite. She's the disorderly sleeper. Her hair is all over the pillow, the quilt's barely covering her, and it mentions her snow-white arm with 2 gold bracelets is just thrown outside the covers.
And Baiyu's reaction says so much. He immediately goes into this protective, tender mode.
Yeah, he gently covers her up. He's worried she'll get a shoulder ache from the wind. It's this simple act, covering this sort of uncontained person. It speaks volumes about their relationship versus his more formal one with Daiyu.
Then they wake up, and the informality just continues. I mean, Baiyu decides he's just going to use the leftover wash water from Xiangyun.
It's so casual. He just says, I'll wash while I'm here, saving the trouble, and then he even waves away the soap they offer him.
And the maid, Krilu, she calls him out on it. She says, still this bad habit. When will it ever change? It's fascinating that even the maids feel comfortable enough to critique him.
It is. It speaks to this kind of chaotic freedom and maybe a lack of structure in his daily life.
Which we see again right away with the hairdresser.
Oh, yes. He doesn't just ask Xiangyun to comb his hair. He begs her. He uses this over-the-top flattery, calling her good sister, my 1,000 times good sister.
It's a lot.
It's a very high level of affection just to get her to do this small task.
And of course she gives in. The source even describes his hairnet cap, small braids gathered into one big one, but while she's braiding it, she finds the problem.
As a trigger.
Exactly.
One of the 4 pearls that are sewn into the braid is gone. It's been replaced by one that doesn't match. And Baiyu just admits, I lost one.
And that is the exact moment when all that shared intimacy just curdles. Why is Daiyu always so ready to pounce?
Because for Daiyu, I think, any romantic gesture, any closeness, always carries the potential for betrayal. She's nearby, washing her hands, and she just weaponizes that tiny detail.
Her line is so cold.
It's brutal, that sarcastic jab. Who knows if it was really lost or given to someone to set in jewelry? It's not about the pearl's value. It's about his honesty. She immediately assumes he's given a gift to someone else.
The tension must have been incredible, and then the scene ends with one last weird Baiyu detail. He picks up rouge from the dresser table.
And he's about to put it to his mouth, which is apparently a thing he does.
And Xiangyun, who just braided his hair, she's the one who disciplines him. She slaps it right out of his hand and says, when will you ever change this unreformed bad habit?
So in, 5 minutes? We've seen Baiyu's tenderness, his stubbornness, Daiyu's jealousy, and Xiangyun's willingness to physically stop him.
So while that whole love triangle is simmering, something much colder and more strategic is starting up somewhere else.
Yes. Baoyu's main maid, Shirin, sees that he's done washing up, and she goes back to her own room. And that's exactly when Baochai shows up.
And she's not looking for Baiyu, is she?
No, not at all. She's there specifically to see Jiren. She's there for the staff.
And Jiren gives her this this smile sigh and complains about Baoyu never being home. Then she starts venting about the chaos with the cousins.
And this is where Jiren is just so brilliant and subversive. She doesn't just complain about noise, she elevates it. She tells Bao Chai, harmony among sisters should still have some sense of propriety and etiquette.
Wow. So she's basically critiquing the current setup, Dayu and Jiangyan, and signaling to Bao Chai, who represents order, that she's on her side.
Bao Chai gets it immediately. She is, in that moment, essentially auditing the talent pool. She sits down, and the text says she's thinking that Jiren is a maid with some sense and foresight.
So this isn't a social call. Bao Chai is scouting her future chief of staff. She's asking about her age, her hometown. She's confirming her value as a future ally.
Precisely. Bao Chai is playing the long game. She sees that Jiren can exert real, quiet influence over Baoyu.
And that leads us right into the next scene, where Jiren does exactly that. She tries to discipline him.
Baoyu comes back, he sees Bao Chai leaving, and asks Jiren what's going on.
And he gets the silent treatment. Jiren's face is described as showing real, calculating anger.
When he finally gets her to talk, she just unleashes everything. She doesn't just complain, she makes a very calculated threat.
Yeah, this part is incredible.
She coldly tells him to never enter her room again, that someone else can serve him, and then the ultimate threat. She'll quit and go back to serving the old matriarch.
Wait, threatening to go back to the old matriarch is not just quitting. That's threatening to cause a massive family scandal, to ruin his reputation with the highest authority in the house.
It's a sophisticated psychological strike. And then she just lies down and closes her eyes. The conversation's over.
That silence is a weapon. Baoyu is completely lost. He asks the other maid, Musket, what's wrong?
And Musket just says, ask himself. He's totally isolated.
And his internal defense mechanism is kind of priceless. He just decides, I'll just assume they've died. I can still be happy and content.
Total emotional avoidance. If the problem doesn't exist, I don't have to deal with it.
But he does have to deal with it. The void is real. When he calls for tea, two younger maids come in, and he focuses on the older, more attractive one.
She says her name is Huixiang, which means orchid fragrance.
And in this moment of just pure petulance and control, he dismisses the name. He says she should be called Bad Luck instead.
It's so cruel. He finds out she's the fourth sister in her family, so he renames her Forer, saying she shouldn't shame good names by trying to be like a noble flower.
So he's actively creating a new favorite to fill the emotional hole Jiren just left.
And the source tells us that Forer is exceptionally clever and immediately starts trying to win him over. Jiren and Musket, who hear all this from the other room, just smile tightly.
So Jiren's strategy worked. He feels isolated, but the side effect is that she's just opened the door for a rival to move in. So with the room empty and all this conflict, Baoyu's reaction is to escape. He escapes into philosophy.
He's bored, he's been drinking, and he picks up a copy of the Nanhua Jing,
Which is also known as
the Zhuangzi. It's one of the great foundational texts of Taoism. And he focuses on a really specific part, a chapter called Opening the Satchels.
And this part is pretty extreme.
It's extremely radical. It basically argues that you should abolish everything organized, saints, laws, even beautiful things like jade and pearls, because that's the only way to eliminate competition and restore natural innocence. It's essentially an anarchist manifesto.
Okay, and this is where it gets really psychologically dense. Because Baoyu takes this ancient text and he applies it directly to his love life.
His application is startling. He actually writes it down in the book. He writes, burn the flowers and scatter the musk. Slaughter Bao Chai's ethereal beauty. Reduce Daiyu's spiritual quickness.
He's trying to philosophize his relationship problems away. His goal is that if you destroy their beauty and their talent, they'd all be the same and there'd be no more competition, no desire, no conflict.
He wants a world without difference, because difference is what causes him pain.
But the domestic drama isn't over. Jiren knows how to stage a reconciliation.
She knows her timing. She realizes he's stayed away all day, so she gives in a little. She finds him pretending to sleep and gently covers him with a cloak.
But she keeps up the cold act for a bit longer.
Oh, yeah. She threatens to just be a mute, and then she uses his own words against him. She brings up the Forer incident and says that she and Musket must shame good names.
And Baoyu is just immediately moved by her charming vexation. His apology is so dramatic, it's physical.
It's completely final. He picks up a jade hairpin and just snaps it in two and declares, if I don't listen to you again, I'll be like this.
That broken hairpin becomes the symbol of his broken vow. And just like that, the drama is resolved. For now.
For now. But the philosophical conflict is still very much alive. After Bai leaves, Dayu comes into his room. She finds the Zhuangzi and reads his drunken anarchic notes.
And she's both angry and amused.
Exactly. And she, as his intellectual rival,
She writes a poem.
a 4-line quatrain right below his writing, and it just completely rejects his philosophical escape. She mocks him for his lack of self-awareness, saying he doesn't regret his own lack of knowledge, yet he blames others with ugly words.
And that leads us right into the next scene somewhere else. The crisis begins with Jia Lian and Fengji's young daughter, Daji. She gets sick.
Okay.
And when the doctor is summoned, he offers a diagnosis that just changes everything. Says, the fever is seeing joy. It is not another sickness.
Which is a euphemism, right, for smallpox. The box.
Precisely. And in this era, the pox wasn't just a physical disease. It was seen as a profound spiritual visitation.
It required this immediate, intense, and really rigorous management that was all centered on devotion to the pox goddess, Dizinyangyang.
And this is where we see Fengji's genius. Her genius as a manager really shines, but it's also where the domestic drama truly starts to build.
Absolutely. The illness triggers this intense focus on ritual purity.
Right.
Fengji immediately goes into, comprehensive command and control mode.
Oh yeah, demonstrating her extreme devotion, but also her total efficiency in handling all the logistics.
She does everything by the book.
Uh-huh.
Cleans the house for worship, bans foods that might pollute the sanctity of the ritual.
Specifically, anything fried or sautéed.
Right. But it's the details she demands that really underscore the gravity of it all.
It is. She ensures the household prepares the required ritual offerings, the mulberry worms and pigtails.
And that's not just some arbitrary detail, is it?
No, not at all. Traditionally, the imagery of the mulberry silkworm is associated with life and transformation, and the pigtails, they signify a kind of ritual sacrifice, an offering to appease the deity and help the child, turn the corner back to health.
And she even provides that specific big red fabric for the close attendants.
Red, the color of protection, of auspiciousness. It's crucial for warding off the worst of the illness. All these specifics, they show the genuine sincerity Fengji is putting into saving her child.
And this commitment, this is what leads directly to Jilian's banishment.
Yes. As the father, he is forced to move out to the outer study for 12 days to fast and abstain. It's called zaji, for ritual purification.
This separation is mandatory. It's not a choice.
Not at all. It's required for the rites to be successful.
And this detail is so critical for our analysis. You have this massive household that thrives on surveillance and control.
Constant surveillance.
And suddenly, the controlling wife is intensely preoccupied with the pox goddess and her daughter, while the husband is physically removed from her scrutiny.
Under the guise of piety.
Exactly. This enforced ritualistic separation creates the perfect environment for him to fall. The religious constraint, paradoxically, it enables his transgression.
And that transgression, it comes so quickly. The sources tell us that after only 2 nights of sleeping alone in the study, Jia Lian found the isolation extremely hard to bear.
Just 2 nights. And his initial thoughts, they already show the bankruptcy of his virtue.
They really do. He starts musing about selecting some of the clean and handsome junior male servants for release.
He's just looking for comfort wherever he can find it. It shows the Zaji was never about reverence for him, just an inconvenient restriction.
But his eye soon lands on a much more dangerous distraction.
Duo Ginyanger. Miss Duo.
Exactly. She is the beautiful and notoriously flirtatious wife of a low-ranking cook in the mansion named Multi-Official.
And her husband is just the perfect enabler, isn't he?
Oh, completely. He's nicknamed Duo Hancheng, the muddle-headed worm.
A muddle-headed worm, wow.
He's described as weak, only requiring a steady supply of wine, meat, and money to just, look the other way.
Which tells you so much about the exploitation of lower-ranking staff within that whole hierarchy.
It really does, and it contextualizes Miss Duo as this woman with very few options, but many desires. She's known for possessing a natural strange pleasure.
The text is so specific about her appeal. It says she makes men feel as if lying on cotton with lewd manners and wild talk that surpasses a prostitute.
And Jia Lian had always wanted her, but was, of course, terrified of Fengji's retaliation.
But now, Fengji is occupied. The sources say Ms. Duo starts showing up, doing nothing, just running these calculated errands near the outer study to tempt him.
And Jia Lian is described as being in the state of a hungry rat needing to find food. It's so primal.
So he uses his trusted servants, heavy bribes, and arranges this secret tryst while her husband is, drunk?
Incapacitated by drink. And the scene itself is intentionally set against this backdrop of sacred ritual.
Which makes it so much worse.
It does. Miss Duo, even in the middle of their meeting, she taunts him about it. She reminds him of the pox, the goddess, the ritual pollution of what they're doing.
And that is when we get the line that just shatters the entire social contract of the chapter. Giulian, driven entirely by lust and rage against being restricted, he just gasps.
You are the goddess. I don't care about any goddess.
Wow.
It's the analytical peak of this section. He doesn't just break the ritual, he commits outright blasphemy.
By declaring his sexual partner the deity, he's elevating his own personal transient desire above everything.
Social duty, religious responsibility, the survival of his own child. It all goes out the window. It confirms that the abstinence just built up resentment, not piety.
It strips away all pretense of his character, doesn't it?
Completely.
Fortunately for his daughter, Daji, the crisis does pass. After the 12 days, the poison fades, the child survives.
The celebratory rites are completed, and Giulian moves back into the main bedroom.
And the sources note something interesting here, that the reunion felt like newlyweds after long separation.
Which implies that despite all their volatility, there is still this deep, if, very complicated affection between them. A moment of calm.
But calm is boring, and the peace lasts only until the next morning.
Of course. Fengji leaves for the upper house, and Pinger, her chief maid and his concubine, is tasked with tidying the bedding that's been brought back from the study.
And here it is, the domestic landmine.
Tucked away in the pillowcase, Pinger finds the evidence. A single lock of black hair, Kingxi.
She knows instantly what it is, a lover's souvenir.
And she immediately conceals it in her sleeve. But what's critical is her next move. She doesn't run to Fengji.
No, she confronts Giulian privately. And this defines her unique power, doesn't it?
It really does. Pinger is fiercely loyal to Fengji, her original mistress, but she's also this indispensable intermediary, the keeper of secrets.
And her primary goal is often just the stability of the marriage, even if that means hiding the truth, or at least leveraging it first.
So she uses the evidence as currency, and when she confronts Giulian, his panic is instantaneous.
He tries to seize the hair back, and he's just oscillating so violently between playful aggression, I will break your arms,
and then this frantic, desperate pleading, good person, give it back to me. He's morally weak, but physically aggressive.
And that private struggle is interrupted by the sound of Fengji entering the courtyard.
A total high-stakes moment. Giulian is trapped.
Fengji comes in, supposedly needing an embroidery pattern, but you just know she has this sixth sense for domestic transgression.
Oh, absolutely. She questions Pinger about gathering the belongings, and Pinger confirms not a thing is missing.
And this is where Fengji shifts from manager to, domestic spy master. She delivers the ultimate gut punch.
She smiles so coldly and says, not missing is good, but what if something more came back?
The genius of it is her cold precision. She doesn't accuse, she just lists the physical evidence of infidelity.
Making it clear she knows the entire playbook.
She lists potential objects. A ring, a sash, a perfume pouch, or even hair or fingernails. She has them cold.
And Giulian, he's paralyzed, turns absolutely pale and starts frantically signaling Pinger behind his wife's back. He knows he's cornered.
But Pinger, the ultimate survivor and secret keeper, she instantly turns the tables.
She doesn't deny the possibility of evidence.
She denies the existence of it. She feigns this total innocence, laughs, and says, my heart is just like yours, grandmother. I was afraid of those exact things, so I searched for them, and there was not one flaw.
And then the checkmate move. She invites Fengji to personally search the items, claiming she hasn't put them away yet.
And that confidence is enough for Fengji. She laughs, satisfied by Pinger's loyalty, and just dismisses it.
She says any intelligent lover wouldn't be foolish enough to leave such blatant evidence anyway.
So Pinger has successfully defended the marriage's stability, even while holding the proof of its fracture. Amazing.
The crisis is averted, but Pinger is not done punishing him.
Not at all. She holds up the lock of hair and tells a relieved Giulian that it's now her handle for life.
And he snatches it back, recognizing the power it gives her. He calls it a calamity for her to hold and stuffs it in his boot to burn later.
And importantly, after all this, Pinger refuses his renewed advances. She runs away, clearly still angry at his recklessness.
And the danger he put her in.
This is what triggers Giulian's spectacular explosion of resentment. He launches into this furious rant about his wife, calling her the vinegar jar.
He's just raging about the unfair double standard he faces.
This is a vital moment. It defines his concept of marital power. He complains that Fengji treats him like a thief and forbids him from speaking to other women.
Yet she, as the primary manager of the house, speaks, laughs, and jokes with all the uncles and nephews without ever fearing his jealousy.
He's arguing for this kind of legalistic, symmetrical fairness. If I can't flirt, you can't talk to other men.
But he entirely misses the crucial distinction.
Which Pinger, the maiden concubine, articulates perfectly.
Yes. Pinger provides the moral critique that no one else in the mansion would ever dare utter. She cuts right through his victim complex.
And explains why the double standard exists.
She says, Fengji, originally walks correctly and acts correctly, but you always have bad intentions. Even I don't trust you, let alone her.
Wow. That's devastating. It just reframes the entire power dynamic.
It really does. Fengji's control isn't just structural because she's the main wife. It's earned through consistent moral behavior.
While his restriction is based on his consistent moral failure, his lack of freedom is a direct consequence of his own character.
As judged even by his own concubine, Pinger uses the concept of trund, or the complete lack of it, as the ultimate measure of virtue.
Right after this profound moral truth is dropped, Fengji walks in on the tail end of their argument.
And she criticizes them for speaking while separated by the window. Jilian quickly covers, humorously accusing Pinger of acting like the room has a tiger.
And Pinger retorts playfully, which leads Fengji to joke that Pinger is trying to conquer her.
The tension breaks. Jilian, relieved the danger has passed, laughs and claims he's now afraid of Pinger too.
That final exchange resolves the immediate tension, but Pinger has fundamentally altered the power relationship between herself and Jilian.
And the chapter closes with that classical poetic summation. Virtuous women always complain. Jealous wives have been sour since ancient times.